Hey everybody, this is Alchemista. This is once again Star Trek Online, Rise of the Red Shirt. This week, we're going to be tackling the first mission of Cloaked Intentions titled The Vault. This episode may be a little late. Blame Skyrim. So over the course of the holiday season, I got a massive Elder Scrolls itch, helped in no way, shape, or form by Mveculous telling me horror/awesome stories of the Elder Scrolls Skyrim. I downloaded Arena, the Elder Scrolls Arena, played that. I fired up my copy of Oblivion, started playing through that, and then I just sort of like went, fuck it, and went out and got Skyrim. And I've been spending a lot of time playing that. Skyrim... I wanted to buy it when it came out, but the reason why I only just now got it is because I was waiting for the price to drop. It's what I did for Oblivion. I played Oblivion. I played a ton of Oblivion at a relative's house. I used to live basically like next door to one of my cousins, and he had a 360, and I would play the crap out of Oblivion. I played the crap out of Oblivion there. Loved it, but I was waiting for it to be less expensive. I've been doing that for Skyrim, but it's been a year. The game's still pretty expensive. It shows no signs of slowing down, so I finally buckled and got it, and have not regretted that purchase. I was expecting just a little bit of buyer's remorse considering how tight things are over here, but not feeling it. It's a really great game. If you have never played Elder Scrolls, though, oh god, play Oblivion first. Play Oblivion first. The reason why I say this, and I'll get back to like actual Star Trek in a moment. I'm just saying this out loud. Play Oblivion first, because dear Lord, Skyrim will kick your ass. Like, I played Morrowind. I've played Oblivion. Alright? I played Arena. I'm still trying to get Daggerfall to work in DOSBox. But Skyrim is kicking my ass. This game takes no pity on you. So, for the love of God, if you've never played an Elder Scrolls game, play Oblivion first. Because Oblivion has a much more gentle learning curve than Skyrim does. Skyrim basically flips you off right away. So, talking about Star Trek. Sudden change of thought. I'm gonna try and get a couple of people together. I know Mveculous will probably be up for it. I'm gonna see if I can track down Andrew for it. I'm going to try and get a roundtable together to discuss the recent Ask Cryptic and talk about some of the things that were talked about there. Not a lot of big news as far as that goes. The winter event, this is the last week for the winter event. So if you want something from that event, go and get it. This is the last week that you'll be able to do so until next winter. So, if you want something, go out and get it, because this week's patch is going to remove it. The winter event, not the stuff you get from it. I wonder what people are going to do with their useless snowball guns. But anyways, we're going to be doing the Vault this week. That's enough of a tangent. So, why am I not in the ready room? Well, that's because the Vault is a bit of an irritating mission to do. You see, the mission actually starts in Hakona, in the Cyverlorum sector block. But first you have to go to Starbase 39 to talk to Tanae and then some random character who's never spoken of ever again after this mission. We don't know who he is, we only know he's an idiot. But that's getting ahead of ourselves. Let's go ahead and take the Vault. Episodes. Let's see. Romulan mystery. Not so much a mystery anymore, since the climax of the freaking missions happened. Let's see. The Vault.
The Romulans had a base, known as the Vault, that they used for research into Borg technology. This facility was abandoned in the chaos after the destruction of the Romulan homeworld, but intelligence suggests that the work there was far enough along that it was used to retrofit Nero's ship before it disappeared along with Ambassador Spock's vessel in the Hobus system. Long-range sensors have detected energy spikes in the Halcona system, and Starfleet intelligence believes that someone is bringing the Vault back online. We need to know who, and more importantly, we need to know if there is still Borg technology or restricted weaponry on that base. I need you to proceed immediately to the Halcona system and investigate the Vault. Engage if you must, but I would prefer if you could gather the information we need, without conflict.
This will not come to pass. So instead of talking to her, we have to talk to DeSoto. For additional information, then go to the shipyard, board a shuttlecraft, and fly to the Hakona system in the Psi Valorum sector block and infiltrate the vault. This was an irritating thing to do. Shuttle missions used to be really, really stressful because you'd have to go to a ship changer, shuffle your gear around, basically equip a new ship, sort out your skill trays, that sort of thing, every single time. There's been a quality of life improvement since then, though, that pretty much automatically drops you into a shuttlecraft for missions that require one. So you don't have. So basically, you get everything ready beforehand, and now you're ready to go. That's very nice. So as a reward, you get Scorpion Fighters, which will be what I am going to claim. You can also get a Phaser Beam Array Mark XIS, which, if this is your first time through this mission, I would highly recommend you get this for your shuttlecraft. These are a 360-degree targeting arc phaser, and they level with you. So, yeah. Well, they don't level with you, but the mission rewards level with you anyways. You can also get phaser dual cannons, which are for if you're in a peregrine. You can also get a lockbox. If you get a lockbox, I will make a lockbox out of cardboard, and I will come and I will beat you with it until the box is destroyed. And then I'll find another box and beat you with it if you grab a lockbox from the mission rewards. I will harm you. Understand? So, don't get this. If you've already got one of these, or if you've already got really good stuff for your small craft, go with the Scorpion Fighters. You can't really sell the Scorpion. Well, I suppose you could sell the Scorpion Fighters, but you really shouldn't. They're basically the closest any ship comes to having a small fighter wing. It's really lame that there aren't any consumable Peregrine fighters in the game. I mean, they were in a lockbox, so you could say, well, they were in a lockbox, so they're in the game. That's still pretty lame. I don't want to have to open a lockbox for fucking Peregrine fighters. I'm in Starfleet. I should be able to use, a consumable version of the Peregrine fighter. Why am I flying a Federation starship decked out in other people's shit? I want Starfleet issue. Okay? If I wanted Reman fighters, I'd play as a fucking Reman. Peregrine fighters. Please. Didn't make it primary, but it did put it at the top of the list, so yay. So let's go down. We are cleared for docking at Starbase 39. As soon as we get within transporter range, I'll make sure to beam us down. That's just that's not mission text, that's just the normal. Are we in transporter range yet? I gotta go talk to this guy. So, as we continue on, the frequency of voiced dialogue will become greater. Not for a while, because we still have the whole Cardassian arc to go through before the 2800, but it'll make it a lot easier on me. A lot easier. A lot easier. What doesn't make it easier on me are the social zones you are required to visit for some of these missions. I really don't like these social zones. I don't like the engine at all. I don't like the fact that they're very cluttered. Starbase 39, at least, is not as repulsive as Earth Space Dock is. Ugh, Earth Space Dock. Admiral's office. So, you gotta go talk to this guy by the fish tank. This guy, will, after this mission, will never be mentioned or seen from again. Considering the double speak he does here, I hope he died in a fire. No, I don't. In order to fly... Sorry about that. In order to avoid drawing too much attention, you need to fly under the radar, so to speak. Admiral Tenay has authorized the requisition of a shuttlecraft for you. You can fulfill the requisition in the shipyard. Once you're ready, take the shuttlecraft out to the Hakona system. If you have a runabout, fighter, or other such craft available, feel free to use it. But do not approach the system in a starship. We want to avoid the notice of whoever's in the vault. A shuttle will also be able to dock with the vault and explore the interior. Any questions? Oh god, text. Isn't this deliberately provocative considering what happened with Zell in the Vendor sector? And the fact that I just genocided a Romulan research facility? Again? It's a calculated risk. That's part of the reason that... That's part of the reason that we're just... That's part of the reason why! Grammar! Jesus! It's not my fault this time. It's a calculated risk. That's part of the reason that we're just sending a small shuttlecraft. We don't want to provoke the Romulans by sending in a starship unless it's absolutely necessary. I don't know why he sounds like this, but he does. Is this a Section 31 operation? Will I meet Drake because I owe him a knuckle sandwich? A bunch of them, actually. What? Oh, that mythical boogeyman organization? No, this is a standard Starfleet operation, at the behest of Admiral Tenay and supported by Starfleet intelligence. In case you were wondering, that means that you should observe all regulations, and don't start a war, unlike the wars you started twice before on Starfleet orders. What can I expect of the vault? Borg technology, Thaleron weapons, like the ones used by Shinzon, cloaking mines and heavy graviton beams? We're not entirely sure. That's why we need eyes inside. I don't know why he talks like this. The station itself is near a micro-nebula and surrounded by a tachyon detection grid. Even a cloaked ship wouldn't be able to sneak in there. You should also expect automated defenses, like turrets and cannons. We haven't spotted any ships in the vicinity, fortunately, although, with Romulan cloaking, anything's possible. What do I need to support? Starfleet will make sure to have a ship or two in range for a rapid response in case of emergency. Hopefully, though, you'll be able to keep things quiet and that won't be necessary. Of course, missions rarely go exactly as planned. This gets stupid for a lot of reasons, but we'll get to that. No more questions. Very well. Remember, you must use a shuttlecraft, runabout, fighter, or similar small operations craft to undertake this mission. We need on-site intel from the interior of the vault. Starfleet will not clear you to enter the Hakona system otherwise. Good luck. Well, I've already got a ship prepped, so let's go ahead and... Oh crap, I don't. So, here we have the problem with this mission. Well, one of them. You see, when you hit the transwarp to the vault, it takes you to Starbase 39. This mission does not actually start here. Like, you only go to Starbase 39 to talk to someone and or pick up a shuttlecraft. The mission actually starts in a different sector block. So yeah, you have this situation where hitting the transwarp button just takes you to, like, somewhere where you talk to a couple people and not where the actual mission takes place. So even if you use the transwarp, you still gotta hoof it all the way to Cyvalorum. And unless you know, unless you have items that will speed up your warp travel, that speed up your sector speeds, oh my god, that's a bear to do. It's not even... Like, unless you're a Vice Admiral and you have, like, Quantum Slipstream, or the Mako engines, or the Borg engines, you're so screwed trying to make... you're just going to be stuck moving around at Warp 10. And that's if you put anything into driver coils. You know, it's not great. It's not good. Also, entering the Hakona system is a little weird because it's sort of weird. If you're too close to it, it won't let you in. You have to be in like this weird area around it where you're not too far away, but you're not too close. So one could say they did that purposefully. One could also say it's stupid. Why not just simply make it like every other system? You know, where you can just like fly over it. Because, you know, even if you're flying over it, you're not flying to it. You're just flying near it, so. Can't have a Galaxy-class ship show up. That would start a war. Enter the Hakona system. Okay. Obviously, this station isn't as abandoned as Intel suspected. Sensors are reading several Riemann ships in the area, and that's just the ones we can spot. That's just the ones we can spot. Shouldn't that be those are just the ones we can spot? Sensors are reading several Riemann ships in the area, and those are just the ones we can see, you know? That station is immense. It's a station. It's nowhere near as big as Earth's space dock. It's about as big as Starbase 39. It must have taken an incredible amount of manpower and technology to build it. It's almost the size of a small moon. No, it's not. At all. Like, it's not even close. Guys? You okay? Okay. Runabout. Let's see. Tractors. Sensors are reading a sophisticated tachyon detection network, as well as several patrolling vessels. Sir, for an abandoned station, this facility certainly has a lot of activity. The Romulans are experts at stealth technology. If we want to approach unseen, we must avoid confrontation and find a way to avoid or jam their sensor grid. We must assume that if we engage the ships here, they'll notify whoever is left on the station, and it may become difficult to find an entry point. Alright. So you have to do a little bit of sneaking around, which makes zero sense as, big ship or not, you're making emissions here, and they should detect you. You know, it's not really great. You know, let's turn that off, turn that on. It's not a really great situation here where, you know, like, these things that are coming out, that's exhaust. They should see that. So engineers and science officers have to screw around a little bit before they can find a way in. Tactical officers, just go over here. Looks like the Romulans left the satellite as a communications booster for their short-range worker shuttles. Fortunately for us, it's still active. Unfortunately, it's heavily encrypted. Traffic analysis shows that the network routes its communications through a series of nodes at the station's dorsal peaks. If we flood them with excessive signals, it could cause the network to be unable to handle any signal traffic, which would give us a brief window to slip in. The alerts wouldn't go off because the station would never get the signal. We'll still have to avoid the patrols and make sure we don't get too close to the station until we make the broadcast. Also, signals. If we flood them with excessive it should be plural. If we flood them with excessive signals, it says excessive signal, singular. Excessive signal will not do crap. Excessive signals will get us in. Approaching the tachyon grid perimeter. If we're detected by it, that will definitely alert the remans. This isn't a tachyon detection grid. It's not dropping my frames to 0. Hate that fucking power. Let's go! So you basically have a minute to get through. It's more than enough. I didn't consult with the officers because, frankly, that's the only thing I can do. So, picking up some unusual energy readings. We'll need to explore the accessible interior areas and see what we can find. Looks like there's another access conduit across from us. We'll have to think three-dimensionally in here. Sensor readings are also picking up a few scattered life signs. We'll have to think three-dimensionally in a giant pizza box. That's what STO is. It's a giant pizza box. It's like Star Trek Legacy in terms of like 3 dimensions. Oh, bad memories. Let's see. Oh, hi, shuttle. No response to our hails. Obviously, someone is still living in the area, though. Basically, they're hobos. They're there if you screw up with this door here, which may happen. Romulan hobos. I didn't trip crap! Who fired that off? Because I sure as hell didn't. Graham. Okay. The doors are a massive set of interior bulkhead doors. They're segmenting the different parts of the base. Possibly a safety measure in case something went wrong with one of the central areas? Access appears to be controlled by use of security keys. We can disable it if we can find a code block that matches part of a security key. So you gotta scan the turret debris. The defense turret was hooked into part of the security network. There's a security node in the subsystem, code block 6750. And from there, you gotta basically just wait until the numbers turn yellow. And then you open the door. Got it. This is a larger problem for some people than you may think. Scan EPS conduits. There's still power in most of the stations. Some of these conduits are damaged. Keep an eye out for energy discharges. Microgravity storage containers. Mostly construction supplies. No weapons or unusual energy signatures. Examine abandoned fighter. Looks like whoever was at this launch bay decided to leave his fighter behind. So we come to the annoying part of this mission. That's this room right here. Well, these rooms, I should say. There's more than one. They're full of turrets, and it's a good idea to clear these out, because you will be running. You're going to be running and you want to clear these places out. These guys up here are annoying because they'll spawn inside the geometry of whatever they're sitting in, and you can't get to them. I'm unsure what these weird walls are. I don't know what purpose they serve other than to screw you over later on. That's basically all they do. That's all they're there to do, is screw you over. Above us, that's a Borg sphere. The Romulans must have used this base as a storage facility and research area for their Borg technology. Come on. The Borg sphere is dormant, like it's been put to sleep. It's not the source of the strange readings that long-range scans detected. Looks like the sphere is hooked into part of the local systems network. We should be able to exit through the other doors now. Probably a safety precaution to keep them locked. Yes, hook Borg technology up to your systems as a safety precaution. Good job. So, this environment's quite nice. And that's all. There's really not much to say. The environment's gorgeous. It makes me wish there were more things like this in the game, which sadly there aren't. There's supposed to be a new social zone coming up as part of Season 8 or 9, I think. I don't know. But yeah, holy crap, Borg technology. Now the significance of that is because the Narada was supposedly refit heavily with Borg tech, if you read the Countdown comic. If you were willing to suffer through the Countdown comic, I should say. Because that Countdown comic was pretty god-awful. Not as bad as Nero was, though. Jesus, IDW, what the hell? IDW has a really bad habit of taking a really interesting concept and then just doing it in the least inspired way possible. It's kind of sad, because they come up with cool ideas, but then they do them in ways that are just bad. Like not even just like, oh, this could have been quiet in this area. Too quiet. Star Wars in this area. Too Star Wars. Unusual energy readings from the other side of that pillar, sir. It is quite a bit like Star Wars, isn't it? With flying inside the giant station and such. It's a bit like Jedi. Oh, remember the good old days when Jedi was the bad one? Oh, those were good days. Lucas, what have you done? You sold it to Disney, that's what you did. Sold it to the evil fucking Empire. God. Now I'm sad. Scan Thalaron reactor. Sir, this is it. This was a weapons lab. An industrial research and fabrication facility where the Romulans built Thalaron weapons. If the Remans have infiltrated the base, they must be trying to secure those weapons.
Ah, so our intruder finally arrives at the heart of the matter. Have you seen all that you came to see, little spy?
Who are you?
Does it really matter? Call me Obisek, if a name is that important to you.
What are you doing here?
That should be obvious. I intend to make use of this station to further my agenda. Your presence, however, is a bit more curious. I expect that you are operating under the shroud of Empress Sela, whether you realize it or not.
I'm not an agent of Empress Sela. I'm here to investigate unusual scanner readings from the station.
Under attack.
I stopped recording for a moment and accidentally triggered the point defense system. That sucks.
Ah, so our intruder finally arrives at the... Does it really matter? Call me Obisek, if a name is... That should be obvious. I intend to make use of this station to further my agenda. Your presence, however, is a bit more curious. I expect that you are operating under the shroud of Empress Sela, whether you realize it or not.
Neither of us is supposed to be here, I suspect.
Never rely on the noble intentions of spies and thieves, Captain. And you and I are either one or the other.
Since we are on similar footing, the least we can do is show courtesy.
I appreciate your level-headedness in an unfortunate situation. As you must have surmised, though, I have already located the Thaleron weapons that I need. One of my ships has completed transporting them, and soon we shall make our first strike against the Romulans in our war for liberation. Sadly, we cannot trust any outside powers to ally with us. Our freedom must be won by our own hands.
The Federation has always promoted freedom. While I cannot condone the use of Thaleron weapons, I can empathize with your plight.
Your honesty under pressure is refreshing. Lesser beings would be scheming to learn my plans or begging for mercy. Your intellect and discretion do you credit.
I cannot condone the use of Thaleron weapons, despite your justifications.
Frankly, I'm astonished by your commitment to principle. I had a very low opinion of Starfleet officers. Sadly, this means that you are also a determined enemy, and a dangerous one. I will allow you to explore the station at your leisure, but I cannot allow you to leave. I'm sure you understand my position. Perhaps at some future time, when the Riemann people are free, I will be able to free you as well. I must warn you that if you attempt to leave, my warship will have no choice but to destroy your craft. Farewell.
Well, that was fun. Time to get out of here. These research data nodes will give you schematics for crafting if you wish to scan them. You don't have to at all. They're not required. They're just free schematics, so. They don't get you like a bonus or anything.
Warning. Ship is under attack.
So, if you have purchased the Thunder Child, this mission becomes spectacularly broken. And I will show you why. Hello?
Warning. Ship is under attack.
Bye, everyone. Yes, point defense systems on a runabout. Yeah, it's a bit cheesy. What am I gonna do? Tractor them? I have like the runabout's tractor beam ability? Yeah, that's gonna help me. You know, if like tractor beams had like some kind of practical purpose, you know, like towing something in this game, then I could see them being useful. But other than like stopping somebody so someone else can shoot at them, you You know, I'm the only person here. You're usually the only person there in, like, these missions. Like, you may bring some buddies with you, but, you know, it's just not... It's just not useful. Okay. A battery, joy.
Warning. Ship is under attack.
See, now these force fields come into play. You're trying to run, you're trying to get out of the station as fast as you can. But there's these force fields there, cock-blocking you, preventing you from going full impulse. I don't know why they're there other than to screw you over. There's no other reason for them to be there. So in this room you have a bit of a problem.
Ship is under attack.
Aside from the Scorpion fighters that clearly want to die.
4 shields failing. Target shields have failed.
Come on.
Target shields have failed.
Bye, everyone. Yeah. Okay. So, between you and Freedom is a fucking Mogai. Normally, Mogais would not be a problem. You are in a shuttlecraft. This makes them a problem. So you basically gotta just, like, book it when they're not by the door.
Warning. Ship is under attack.
And then book it some more, because you just lost your full impulse.
Right shields failing. Hull integrity below 75%. Rear shields failing.
What I just used was called Quantum Singularity Manipulation. It's a power you get from Tier 5 Romulan Rep, which I recently maxed out along with Omega Force.
Target shields have failed.
Come on. Or don't. Bye. Okay. One of the Sporkian. One of the Sporkian fighters got a clue. Or they didn't. I saw you.
Warning. Ship is under attack.
Good lord. So, this ends with a kind of, sort of mid-bossy kind of fight here, where you're... basically, the only thing between you and freedom is a bird of prey. You don't have to fight the bird of prey. You can literally just run up to the doors and get out. It is, however, fun to do. So we're doing it.
Warning. Ship is under attack. Target ship has been...
And it's dead. We can leave now. Remember when I said this mission was kind of broken if you had point defense? It's kind of broken if you have point defense. Because it is. Well, let's get the hell out of the station. Now, I probably shouldn't have fired off point defense, because point defense actually comes in handy in about 5 seconds. Sir, we must stop Obisek's ship from absconding with Thaleron weapons. Okay. Show of hands. In a tense situation where you're under threat and time is of the essence, who talks like that? Natural dialogue, please. Sir, we must stop Obisek's ship from absconding with Thaleron weapons. We can use the dormant Romulan subspace booster satellite outside the station to send a message to Starfleet as soon as we're clear of the interior. But Obisek's warship will almost certainly detect us when we do. We'll have to survive long enough for reinforcements to show up. Yeah, I know, this is a really bad situation. Maybe we should have brought the fucking Woglinde. You know? Maybe we should have just, like, gone in here with, like, a Galaxy-class starship. Reinforcements have arrived and are just past the nebula. We don't have much time. We need to meet with reinforcements and stop that ship. Alright. You know, maybe we should have just brought the Woglinde. You know, just bring the... Oh, for fuck's sake! This is me reenacting my initial thoughts. Guess what's right over there? It's a Galaxy-class starship. So, basically put all your power into weapons here because your shields are worthless because Wrath of Khan. Because Wrath of Khan happened, that's why. Whatever you do, make sure you are not targeting the Dederedex. What the game wants you to do is shoot down the heavy plasma torpedoes before they hit the Lassa, but the Lassa can take it. You cannot. So just focus on the Scorpion fighters. You don't get any bonuses for stopping the torpedoes from hitting the Lassa at all. The Lassa will continue to fight even if it's at 0 health. So there's really no reason, none at all, to engage that damn Warbird or its plasma torpedoes. In fact, if you do, you will die very quickly. In fact, I'm pretty sure I just took a plasma torpedo. I'm kind of surprised I survived that. Hail the USS Lassa. That was quite an explosion. Probably from the Thaleron weapons carried aboard the ship. We're going to leave the system under high warp to draw off any reinforcements that might come looking. Suggest you return to Federation space. Where's the Lassa? It cut me off. Where's the Lassa? There it is. You can't full impulse here either. Alright. Depart system. I've always wondered why the hell you couldn't go to full impulse. You know, it's... Why do Nebulas stop you from going at full impulse? Seriously, why? There's no really good reason for it. All impulse engines are rocket engines. There's a bit of a like impulse engines can carry you to low warp. You know, but they're essentially glorified rocket engines. So why did Nebula stop them from working? I mean, they clearly don't stop them from working because you can travel at impulse velocities. Whenever you're moving, it's because the impulse engines are burning deuterium and pushing you forward. So why can't you go full impulse in a nebula? And you can't say it's interfering with the aspects of impulse drive that are similar to warp technology, because I clearly just went to warp in a nebula. So I can travel at impulse speed in a nebula. I can go to warp in a nebula, but I can't travel at full impulse in a nebula. Consistency. So yeah, that was basically me reenacting my thoughts when I first played the mission. I was like, well, you know, we could have just brought the Woglinde, and the Woglinde could have made short work of this. Oh, Jesus Christ! The moment I first saw the Lhasa. There was a moment where I was just like, but what? What? But what? You know, I was sort of just like sitting back in my chair going, but start a war? But I couldn't bring my ship, but you could. But where's my freaking ship? Shouldn't my ship be nearby at least? Why didn't my ship come to my rescue? Damn it! Sense it, not make! So yeah, but we're not done yet, because now you have to travel back to Starbase 39. This at least is better than before, because you can just hit the transwarp button and go. Go through a loading screen to go through another loading screen, to fly a little bit and go through yet another loading screen to resolve this mission. Yeah. Zoning, zoning, zoning. Because you have to talk to DeSoto. You can't just contact him via subspace. Oh no. This has to be done in person, because DeSoto is that important to Starfleet. So important he is never heard from again. Hello, ugly-ass EVA uniform. Hi, jerk. I've taken a preliminary look at your logs, and it seems that things went a bit unexpectedly. I have a feeling that this isn't the last time we'll be seeing the Vault. The Reman commander you encountered is definitely a major player in the disintegration of the Romulan Star Empire. I'm going to send the information you gathered about him to an old colleague of mine, Dr. Maximilian Peters, for analysis. If this Reman is a leader in their separatist movement, we'll have to deal with him again, and hopefully Dr. Peters can work up a psychological profile for him and a sociological analysis of the separatists. Our next step will be to decode the signal intelligence and go through any remnants left from the ship that was destroyed near the vault. Now that we know that the Remans were hoping to use Thalaron weapons, we need to figure out their target location. Right now, Starfleet knows far too little about a civil war in the making, but it will take time to sift through all the data. Keep in touch. Starfleet will notify you when we have a lead. Oh, and thanks for the good work, Captain. Then you have to go talk to Tanae. Who is Dr. Maximilian Peters? I don't know. He never showed... They set up basically this investigation into Obisek's past, which would have been really cool to see. It would have been really cool to see. Like, the next mission... Mine Enemy... Kinda? Sorta? Doesn't have much to do with with the goings-on. You know, if they were... They could have done a bit more with this, is what I'm saying. You know, they set up, like, this investigation, like, this psychological profile on Obisek and such that you never see. Would have been really cool. Who is Dr. Maximilian Peters? You never hear from him about him again. You never see him. The psychological profile that he's talking about is never mentioned. You never get to read it. So, basically, the Vault just introduces Obisek and the Riemann Resistance, and that's it. Nothing of consequence has happened here. Like, nothing, like, there will be no consequence, there will be no lasting, like, well, yes, if you talked to the Romulan in the shuttle, which I didn't, there's an implication hanging there. But this will not have terribly lasting consequences. You'll see. Talk to Admiral Tanae.
Excellent work. We need to learn more about the conflict between Obisek and the Romulans. Sila's forces may indeed be hounding the Riemanns, but the use of Thaleron weapons is unacceptable. Not even the Klingons or the Breen will stoop to such barbarism. Starfleet intelligence will be working to decode the list of possible targets you acquired from the base's databanks. The next step may be to investigate these sites and find out why the Riemanns want to destroy them.
So, you can choose one of your rewards. Let's see, do I have one of these? I don't. I am taking Scorpion Fighters. These little guys can come in handy. Like, a lot, in fact. And you can have more than one of them. That's great. That's awesome. So let's go ahead and get off the station. So, what I used to do, not now. What I used to do was I used to do the Vault and grab some Scorpion Fighters. Then I'd do the Vault again and have that one sitting there ready to turn in when I ran out of Scorpion Fighters. And then I'd turn that in, get a new one. And I'd just sort of like leapfrog it like that. So I would always have some Scorpion Fighters on hand. But with the changes to how carriers kind of work and the changes to the Scorpion Fighters, looks like you can have more than one. So that's good if you're really into using Scorpion Fighters. Oh. Unique max of 1 per character. Maybe not. Okay. Okay. Star Trek Online. That was the Vault. The Vault's a cool mission in terms of like on the technical side, it's a cool mission. It was one of the first times you heard voice acting used to that degree in Star Trek Online, as I recall. It's going to be way easier on me, that's for sure. And Obisek's voice actor does a really good job. I think Obisek's voice actor is one of the few actual, like, for the majority of the voiceovers you hear in the game are actually the devs. Many of them, you'll be able to, like, hear people who sound, like, alike. You know, you'll be able to hear people who sound the same as almost everyone else. You know, so you hear a lot of, like, of the same voice a lot of the time. Obisek is one of the few professional voice actors. This isn't like somebody from The Office. This is somebody they hired for VO. And I don't know his name, though I should. Like, I know the guy, and I know the stuff he's been in, but I don't remember his name. That's kind of sad when you think about it. But he does a kick-ass job as Obisek. So that was the vault. Nothing of real aside from the introduction of Obisek and the Riemann Rebellion, nothing of real consequence happens in this mission. There's something with the vault later on, like at the very end of these. At the very end of Cloaked Intentions, there's like a 6th little mini mission where you fly to the vault and you talk to Obisek about all the stuff that's gone on, and that's when you get your that's when you would have gotten your Riemann bridge officer. Or no, it was the mission before. Sorry. But there's even like a line of dialogue about your Riemann bra. There's a line of dialogue about your Riemann bra, and you know, talking about like, hey, one of the people from your resistance has like joined my ship, and Obisek's he basically goes, okay, good, I wish him well. And that's basically it. Basically what happens at the very end. I'm going to spoil this right now, because I can't replay Darkness Before the Dawn. What happens is basically the Riemann Resistance, what's left of it, goes to live in the vault. And that's the only real lasting consequence of Cloaked Intentions, is the Riemanns are now living in the vault. There's a free Riemann nation. And that was it. And nothing really happened with that for a long time until Mulrihan a few months ago. So, yeah. Mulrihan is basically continuing the story of Cloaked Intentions. Not to a very great a degree, however. Sayla never rears her head. None of the things that happen at the very end of Cloaked Intentions get resolved, but you'll find out about that. This has been The Vault. This has been Star Trek Online: Rise of the Red Shirts. I'm gonna go play more Skyrim, and I will see you guys later. So, later.
They're preparing to fire lance weapons!